that from the pictures that I saw, she's like, has a very happy attitude about everything, like her daughter.
That's very kind.
I couldn't help it. I was like, oh my God, when I
What's
was
up?
I was like totally not. No, it was like, no, I was so messed up. But your mom, happy attitude, and that means a good recovery.
Yeah, she's trying. She's trying. Thank you.
I would only ask what happened to the other guy.
Cindy, he's talking to you, not me. Her mother had a terrible accident.
I know. I was just saying that maybe she beat up somebody, but no.
Well, Zach seemed like he was joining us, but he's gone now. So maybe he's having some internet problems.
The night is young, even though my brother's birthday party's put on hold while I'm sitting here.
Oh, I'm sure they're all still enjoying it, Cynthia.
He's here alone. He's waiting
Oh.
for my son to come home from work. It's my brother's 58th birthday today.
Oh,
yes,
nice.
and I spent all day making his favorite dinner because I love him so much.
What is the favorite dinner?
He wanted manicotti. But I make manicotti very different from everyone else. So that's why he loves it so much. I don't make it the traditional way.
Some of us who haven't had dinner are asking you to please stop talking about food.
I know, I haven't had dinner. I'm over here eating stale pretzels.
Hi, guys.
Zach, you've muted yourself now?
Yes, unfortunately, I'm in City Field, so I'm going to keep muting myself.
Oh.
It's a real public place. Well, we won the first game.
Zach, when you're ready to start, I'll call roll.
Yes, please.
Should I do it now or do you want to wait?
No, we can do it now.
Okay. All right, good evening, everybody. I am going to mute everybody. You're all veterans of this. I am only going to call the names of committee members. When I call your name, please unmute yourself, acknowledge, and then mute yourself again. If you are a board member but not a committee member, I am going to write your name down, but I am not going to call you. Let's start with Zach Jason.
I'm here.
Thank you. Joan Body.
Yeah.
Thank you. David Estrada.
Here.
Thank you. John Garcia. Cynthia Gonzalez.
Here.
Thank you. Christina Lem.
I'm here.
Thank you. Sam Sierra. Zach, roll is called.
Hey, thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, hold on one sec. Okay,
Zach, we're not hearing you very well. People, I think.
yeah, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, I just unmuted myself. Okay, thank you guys for being here. Sorry for this last minute meeting. It's all coming together very, very late, but you guys are all familiar with the process. we have a slate of candidates. So I can let you guys, I can read you guys that slate. And then I guess we vote to approve the slate as we can make this as quick as everybody wants. Is that how we should move ahead?
Well, others may have some other ideas to add to those positions, Zach. And then, of course, tomorrow night, people will be able to add from the floor.
Exactly. Okay, that sounds great. But should I read off
I
this
think you
working
should do
slate?
one position at a time.
Okay.
Say whoever you have for those positions, and if other folks have other names, they should add them.
Sounds great. It sounds great. So you want to start with the chair. Position of the chair. We have Julio Pena.
Sure. Zach, would you like me to ask if anybody else has?
Yeah. Does anybody else have any other names they would like to see on the slate as the chair?
I don't see any hand. Oh, I see one hand. Joan?
Does anybody know if anybody on the present executive board would also like to move up?
Well,
Joan, we sent an email to everybody who's on the executive board asking them if they would like to be renominated for their current position or change their position. Only a couple responded to the board. I know at least one responded to Zach directly. Zach, do you have anybody else who responded about chairperson?
I have no one else who responded about chairperson.
And neither did I.
Okay.
Oh, there's another hand. I see Christina Lem's hand up.
Hi, Zach. I was just wondering, were these people already, did they volunteer for these positions? Is that what the current names that you're giving to us?
Yes, they most have volunteered or are not term limited out. The other people I reached out to.
And Christina, everybody would have to confirm at the meeting that they are willing to run for the position. So tomorrow night, they're going to be offered the spot, and they would have to confirm that. Joan has her hand up as well.
Yes. There's a few people that are on the committee that I wanted to nominate until I saw who was on the committee. So being that the people that I wanted to nominate the committee, I cannot. But Cindy, you are not on the committee, correct?
I'm not on the committee.
Would you care to move up to a position?
I'm interested in first vice chair.
So right now, we're just talking about chairperson.
Yes, and we are. Can I just?
Would you care to move up to chairperson? I'm sorry.
Can I just read through this slate that has been put together, and then we'll discuss that, and I'll speak if each person has, and then we can or I don't know, however you guys. I've never run this
Zach,
before.
why don't you give us the full slate and we can discuss it and add as necessary.
Right, because I think, Joan, some of the names that you want to add, I think will be represented on this slate. So for chair, Julio.
Okay.
For vice chair,
I would also like to nominate Cindy for a position and Nick Azadian for Nick. You're not on the committee, are you?
I am not.
I would also like to nominate Nick for a position on the executive board.
Right. So let me read through this. So I reached out to Cindy, and I've spoken with a lot of people. This all came up on Friday, so we're trying to put it together slate this weekend. Julio, no one else, no other names for chair?
Zach,
Do you
why don't
want
you
to-
give us the full list and then we can
Okay.
go over that.
So for chair, we have Julio Pena. For vice chair, we have Cindy Vandenbosch. For second vice chair, we have Pat Ruiz. For secretary, John Johnston. For assistant secretary, I just received an email from Karen Rolnick that she would like to be secretary. And no
I'm
longer
sorry,
treasurer.
is that for assistant secretary, Zach?
Yes, but I'm going to make an amend. I would make the amend that Karen Rolnick would be in this position of secretary, John Johnston in the position of assistant secretary. The spot of treasurer is open. And then we have for community outreach, we have Cesar Zuniga. For sergeant at arms, we have Victor Swinton. For assistant sergeant at arms, we have Sam Sierra. So Sam, Victor, and Pat will be returning to their current positions or running for their current positions because they have not term limited out. This position of treasurer, I would be very happy to nominate Nick Azadian. I think you'd like to make this. That's a great entry level onto the executive board. And if you would accept that nomination,
I would.
excellent. So the slate as it stands currently, for chairperson, we have Julio Pena. For vice chair, we have Cindy Vandenbosch. For second vice chair, we have Pat Ruiz. For secretary, we have Karen Rolnick. For assistant secretary, we have John Johnston. For treasurer, we have Nick Azadian. For community outreach coordinator, we have Cesar Zuniga. Sergeant at arms, Victor Swinton. Assistant sergeant at arms, Sam Sierra. Now, anybody would like to speak to that slate, please?
I have Victor's hand up.
Yeah, Zach, just from what I understand about elections, if I know Sam's on the nominating committee, if he accepts the assistant sergeant of arms, he's gonna have to come off that committee, as well as answering Jones' question. If she wants to nominate somebody who's on the committee, if they accept, they would just have to be removed off that committee and be replaced.
I cannot nominate anybody on the committee.
You both are correct.
Sam is on the committee.
Sammy is on the committee. Sammy should not be on the committee because there's already a member of the executive board. So
This is why we have 7 members. Sam just needs to drop off the committee and Cesar can appoint somebody to replace him. This has happened before.
Yes.
Okay. So if Sarah, if you're there and you would like to accept the nomination for a second term as assistant sergeant at arms.
Sam is not here tonight, but he will have the opportunity to accept or decline tomorrow night.
Okay, great. But yes, you're absolutely correct in your questions, Victor and Joan, as always. Sorry, next. Any other hands?
Pat has her hand up. Pat had her hand up. Pat, you're still muted?
Oh, I'm sorry, I hit the wrong thing. I just have a question. If I'm not on the nominating committee, I can't nominate right now.
That's correct. That's correct. You have to nominate from the floor tomorrow night.
Got your hands up again. And it's down now. Anybody else want to raise hands? Make nominations or speak. Cynthia Gonzalez has her hand up.
Yeah, my question is that the assistant treasurer position is still open, or that position doesn't exist?
When we did the bylaws change, that position was removed and was replaced by the outreach coordinator.
Got you. Okay.
Cynthia, your hand's still up?
No. I'm not very tech savvy, you know that.
You're around my level.
You're very tech savvy. You don't give yourself enough credit. Very tech savvy.
Anybody
So,
else?
It looks like we got a full slate going here.
We do, and I'm sorry again. This is probably not how it's been done in years past. This all came up very quickly. I was, this when you guys received your email asking you to be on the committee. That was when I found out about this as well, and this was the first available spot to have a meeting. So I do apologize if it seems like it's being done in haste, but I do feel like this is a really wonderful slate of people.
Zach, we have another hand up.
Okay.
Pat? Pat, you're muted.
Here we go. On behalf of the chair and the executive committee, apologies for last minute. You know how that is. But I wanted to know, and I know I'm not on this committee, but has the decision been made on what platform is going to be used for the voting?
So I am working with Maria on something called electionbuddy.com. The idea is we are going to send, and we're going to do a mock election well prior to our June meeting, where you will get to decide what your favorite cola and French fries are. But we will be sending that out soon. I need to speak to Zach on that. But Election Buddy, the night before the election, you will get the ballot. And during the board meeting, you are going to be emailed a number, which will allow you to access that ballot, and you will we'll figure out the timing, 10 or 15 minutes, whatever it is, to fill out your ballot. It is, as is required by our bylaws, we cannot tell who votes for who.
Yes, thank you for that question, Pat, because Jeremy and I have spoke about that, and as part of this committee's presentation tomorrow night, after we lock in our candidates, then Jeremy will explain to the entire board again what we just talked about, and we'll have probably two practice elections over the course of the next month, so everybody can be as familiar as possible. And we've voted this way in my union. It works. It's not that confusing. So I think this is going to be okay.
Cindy Vandenbosch has her hand up.
Yeah, I'm just reflecting on when I first joined the board, and one of the first meetings I went to, I'm sorry, Pat?
It's okay.
Oh, okay. And one of the first meetings I went to was an election, and it was a little like sort of discombobulating because I maybe wanted to nominate myself, but it was sort of this thing. And I'm just wondering tomorrow, I'm thinking about the meeting, there might be people who are newer to the board that may have an interest in nominating themselves or having someone nominate them. And it would be really great if board members understood that before they signed on to the meeting. I wonder if there's a way to communicate to the full board in a message when the agenda goes out to say, like, please be prepared if you'd like to nominate yourselves, and attach the bylaws, because I also remember, like, if you haven't looked at the bylaws, you might have forgotten what each of the individual positions are and what they're tasked to do. Because I'd like to see a competitive kind of election.
So Cindy, the process is actually spelled out in the bylaws.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to send out an email with the election section of our bylaws specifically, so people could read what it's about and know that they can make nominations from the floor tomorrow if they wish to.
That is wonderful. I mean, I guess, like, the thing that I have a question about is, not that I'm against having a slate. I think everyone who's on this list would do a wonderful job. But I guess my question is, like, there may be other people that have an interest in throwing their hat in the ring. And if they get elected, great, so that's kind
But
of where I'm
Cindy,
coming from.
that's the reason why we always have nominations from the floor. And we do that 2 times, even on the night of the vote.
Cynthia, that was changed in our last bylaws. That tomorrow is the last time to make a nomination.
Okay,
No
so we
longer
don't have 2.
nominations the night of the meeting. As of the previous bylaws change, not the most recent.
So as a point of clarification, so let's say there's 3 people that are nominated for first vice chair or for treasurer, whatever it might be, all of those people will be included.
They're all on the ballot. If
Absolutely.
nobody receives a majority position, it would go to a second ballot, and if necessary, a third or fourth or whatever, until somebody gets a majority vote.
Okay, thank you for clarifying the process. And I do think that information in advance with the bylaws would be really great for everybody to see in advance.
And one other thing for clarification for those of you who may not remember, but if there's only one person running, the secretary gives the casting vote to confirm. Am I correct, Jeremy?
You are correct. So if there's only one person running for a position, we ask the secretary to speak. The secretary says they cast 1 vote for whoever that person is, and that person is declared the winner.
So there is no vote. It's not as if that doesn't end up on a ballot where someone might not vote for that one individual.
So for example, let's say position X, Jeremy and not Jeremy are running for position X. Tomorrow night, the nominations are closed for that. So we know who is on the ballot. Come June, it's a new month for us. This is the first time we have an election in June. Come June, folks get to cast their ballot for Jeremy or not Jeremy. And if only Jeremy is on the ballot, there's no opportunity to vote for anybody else. The secretary then speaks up and says they cast 1 vote for Jeremy for the position of X. I don't see additional hands up. Anybody else wish to speak or say something?
I just wanted to say that goes for the entire slate. If there's not a second candidate coming up, that rule applies to the entire slate.
Correct.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. So we, in past elections, we haven't voted on all positions on the night of the election because several have been uncontested. But we'll see what tomorrow brings. And we'll read through the slate tomorrow night. We'll go position by position, and then we'll call for nominations from the floor. If that person accepts a nomination, I don't believe you can nominate yourself. But if you're nominated and then you accept that nomination and you are not a standing member of the nominating committee, then you'll be added to the ballot.
So somebody needs to be seconded before they're officially on the ballot, Zach.
Okay. And you can't nominate yourself, correct?
I believe you can actually.
Oh.
Yes, you can nominate yourself,
Yes.
and someone has to second it.
Yeah, there's
Somebody
never
would
been
have
an
to second it,
objection to
right.
that.
Right, it would have to be seconded.
Zach, do you want to vote on the slate tonight?
Yes, I would like to vote as the committee on to approve this slate.
You want me to do a roll call?
Please.
All right, folks, I'm going to mute everybody again. I'm going to call your name. If you were a member of the committee to vote on the slate for the positions, I'm going to read off the slate as Zach and our committee members have described it for me. If I get any of these wrong, please somebody yell at me. Chairperson, Julio Pena. First Vice Chair, Cynthia Vanden Bosch. Second Vice Chair, Patricia Ruiz. Secretary, Karen Rolnick. Assistant Secretary, John Johnston. Treasurer, Nicholas Azadian. Community Outreach Officer, Cesar Zuniga. Sergeant at Arms, Victor Swinton. Assistant Sergeant at Arms, Sam Sierra. I'm now going to call roll on that slate. So let's start with Zach Jacy.
Yes.
Thank you. Joan Body.
Yes.
Thank you. David Estrada.
Yes.
Thank you. John Garcia. Cynthia Gonzalez.
Yes.
Thank you. Christina Lem.
Yes.
Thank you. Sam Sierra. Zach, the vote has been called. I have 5 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Great. That concludes, thank you guys very much for coming out tonight. That concludes our business. We'll see everyone tomorrow evening. Meeting is adjourned. Good night, guys.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.